Oh no, wait, really? Wait, nobody invested in this guy in the Shark Tank and he was the guy who invented the Ring camera? Or was this something different? Oh no. He became a shark.
First into the tank is a product to ensure you
Hold everything for a year. So I have all my CrowdStrike and the other thing. What was it?
I'm seeking $700,000 for a 10% stake in the company. Consumers are currently spending
$700,000 for a 10% stake. So he's valuing his company at $7 million. That's a big company for Shark Tank. Okay. Quick, how long ago was this presented? What was the year? Season 5 of Shark Tank. 2009. Okay, so smartphones existed. Okay. All right.
Now, just like a regular call, when someone rings the doorbell.
No 2013, no 2014. Wait, hold on. Oh. 2009 is when it first came out, sorry. Season 5 was 2013, 2014. Okay, so even more smartphone market. Oh, he said a joke there, but it actually wouldn't surprise me if most burglars actually did ring the doorbell or knock on the door first because they want to make sure nobody's home. It wouldn't surprise me if most of them actually did do that. Like if you ring a bell and you hear somebody inside, you just fucking run. They launched 9 months ago. When they say launch, does that mean like it could have been for years and selling individual things or whatever? Launched 9 months ago and they've done 1 million. Why would you ever accept a deal from the Sharks when you can get free advertising from just being on the show? Okay, do you remember when everybody got ass pained about like Hunter Biden being on the Burisma board or whatever? Part of the reason why you bring people onto your company isn't just for their money. It's also, and sometimes it can largely be because of the connections that they have with other people. So my understanding is that, fuck, I don't know all these guys. Like this, isn't this black dude? He's the one that did like Fubu, the Fubu stuff. Kevin O'Leary has done shit. The lady has done stuff. Like I think all of these people have a presence. Like Mark Cuban is involved in all that shit, and then this guy over here with the blue eyes, the weird dude. He's not weird. I'm sorry. I think he's like a tech dude. Like all of these guys have been involved in a lot of business stuff. So theoretically, bringing them on board gives you automatically a lot of connections to other types of retailers, other markets, their industry expertise, stuff like that. So that's one reason why you might want somebody like you on your company, not just for the investment, but for the partnership, basically. Let's see what else is out there. Oh, there are other things on the market, and it is kind of expensive. I mean, that's probably fair.
So for that reason, I'm out.
Okay. And I think the thing for this is that it connects to smartphones. Is that his like big upsell, or is that's his reason why deal, right? Not necessarily. Once you get into like probability, and you get into like what's a good investment, what's a bad investment, and then like this is true in like poker and it goes all the way up to investing, you can't necessarily look at the results of a thing on a particular decision to know if the decision was good or bad. Like they might have had good reasons for not wanting to invest in this. They might be right most of the time, and maybe this guy got lucky, or there were a couple things that lined up past, you know, them saying no. Or maybe it was dumb decisions. I don't know. I don't know enough about like everything they said and everything that went on here, and that long distance relationships are nearly destined to fail. Can you give us the main reasons for why that's the case? Because you're not seeing the person. I think spending time in real life with a person is like one of the most important things you can do. I mean, if you convert it to like a close distance relationship, I think you have some success. But I think that when you're not spending time with your partner ever, and especially if your partner can spend time with other people, I think that relationship is like, that's like a not good. It's like you date for 5 years, long distance for 1 to 2 years, and then get back together. 1 to 2 years, that's a long time, my dude. Or what, are you like 60 years old? I don't know. I feel like 1 to 2 years is a long time. Apparently he sold this eventually to Amazon for $1 billion. I don't know how much longer it was, but.
Have you ever made any like major mistake?
Lots of times. I mean,
What was the biggest one? Ring.
no, that was not my. That's not
Ring?
one of
Shark Tank, at least.
Shark Tank. No, it wasn't a miss at all.
No?
No. I
How?
still wouldn't do that deal.
Why?
So all respect to Jamie, the guy who started it, but and same thing. Like my biggest miss probably was Uber, right? Because the guy before Travis Kalanick, I was an investor in his previous company. It was called Red Swoosh, and we made money and we sold it and we did good. And he brought Uber to me. It was called Uber Cab, and I still got the emails. But his whole thing was he was just going to go into every municipality and just say, "Fuck it all, we're just going to start." And I'm like, all the taxi cab commissions are just going to just sit on you, right? And you're going to have to raise hundreds of millions of dollars to do tens of millions of dollars in business.
Talk about like a revolutionary idea.
No, and it was amazing, right? And I thought it was, and you know, it wasn't that I was wrong on the idea. It was just for the execution, you're going to have to raise so much money that you get diluted to next to nothing. Ring was the same way, right? You know, it's great they sold for $1 billion. Yeah, more power to them, but they had to raise $400 million. And if they weren't bought, they wouldn't be here.
I did a triple deck. The first deck was all mission. And literally there'd be venture capitalists that would be like, oh, wow, like you have a great mission. I'm sure your business sucks. Thanks for coming. And I'd be like, yeah, it sucks. It's a shit business. And then there'd be like these great venture capitalists that'd be like, wow, that's so cool. I totally get how this could lead to like all these products. And I'm like, let me show you. And then deck 2 was all the product roadmap of what we could build off of this mission. Then some people would be like, that's great, but you're probably not selling anything because all you keep talking about is mission and product. And I'd be like, yeah, shit business. And I'd leave. Then for the people that are like, wow, things must be going really great. This is awesome. I love what you're doing. I'd show them the third deck, which was actually our financials, which was pretty damn good at the time. And the best part about this is very prominent VC, we sell, comes to me and says like, when you pitched me, you totally screwed up. We never.
Because I don't know if this works as general business advice. Also, these guys are operating on a business level that's quite a bit higher than what I do. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But if I had to guess, it sounds like he's going to say, I want somebody that believes in the vision of the product and like the mission and then like our expansion more than just seeing good financials and wanting to throw money at it, which is, my guess is probably a good idea, but.
Saw how good the business was. We totally would have invested. And I said, no, I was interviewing you and you didn't pass the mission test.
Yeah. As I've gotten older and more businessy, whatever, I've noticed that like things that I used to think were cringe, like mission statements.
Not guilty.
Or like company culture, like these kind of like cringe intangibles, I think are actually really, really, really important to the long-term success of any large venture. I think they're really important. What? Walking home at night, past a group of youths, one of them tells me I dropped my gay card. I look down for it and realize I've been the victim of a practical joke. I'm unmoved. I tell the youth that his provocations are futile because I am a stoic. He bursts out laughing and says, it's pronounced stoic, not stoic. Break down and cry in the street. Could you explain how they are important? I think it's really important to have like a central guiding principle to kind of like orient your business and your decisions and your company culture and everything around. Otherwise, it's easy to just like expand and get lost and add more departments and more features and more things, and you don't really have like a particular goal that you're honing in on, and that kind of like flows down to like every part of your organization, I think. And it affects your employees and your executives and your marketing decisions and like everything else, I think, your product decisions. What is this? Soundbiker hate watching.
Hear about like the Armenian genocide being presented from the perspective of like, oh, it's the Ottoman Turks that killed the Armenians because they're Christian, okay? And then they turn around and say like, oh, they killed the Russians because they're Christian. Yeah, you're like a fucking Christian nationalist type of Nazi, okay? It's a very specific type of Nazi. Like, no, these atrocities were not conducted against Christianity, okay? Ridiculous. Hear about like the...
I don't know. I don't know enough about the Armenian genocide to even know if he's right or wrong. I have no idea, so I can't say. We are so back. Ugh. Like it would be funny if this retard wasn't serious. What the fuck is going on outside? Jesus. Okay. Malarkey, this is so depressing at Destiny. I'm building devices and products that are 100 times more complicated for my grad degree. I could have made something so simple like a doorbell camera app and sold for $1 billion not that long ago. Sag. Well, most like really, really good products that are designed and sold to people aren't just like, it's not a matter of just like how technically difficult are they to make. It's identifying like some part of the market, making like, there's a lot that goes into this relating to like cleverness and innovation, I guess, more so than just like technical knowledge. worst thing you could do if late for work. Why do I care about this?
How a simple traffic stop turned into this.
Hands up! Do it now!
Okay, tell me if we should watch this or not. You guys are fucking losers.
63 miles an hour and 45. Traffic's light.
Why did you stop doing polls in chat? Did you forget the command? Because I pull all 3 of my chats, and if I just pull DGG chat, and then I do straw polls for the rest, I'd have to add them up, which is fucking retarded.
We're continuing past target. Speed is 45 and 30. Pull over! It's not worth it. Just pull over. He stopped at the red light. We're proceeding through the green light. No indication he has any intention on pulling over for me. Looks like we're finally pulling over at Williams and Interchange North. Put your hands up! It's the Waller County Sheriff's Office. You're fleeing and eluding. You're not free to go. Put your hands up. Do it now. You in the red Civic, hands up. Put the windows down so I can see you. Do it now.
573, I could have 8 seconds.
573. I got one at gunpoint. Or actually, the vehicle at gunpoint. No one's acknowledging my presence.
Bro, maybe he's deaf.
Hands up! Do it now! Considered armed and dangerous. Put your windows down. Do it now. You in the red Civic. You're under arrest. It's the Waller County Sheriff's Office. Still one at gunpoint. No acknowledgement from the vehicle. He was jamming out to his music. Show me your hands! It's the Waller County Sheriff's Office. Show me your hands, please. You're under arrest. You're not free to go. Hey, how's it going? So, original was 77 out on 50. Turned my lights on at Grand Geneva, and this is where we ended up. Just no acknowledgement. It's the Waller County Sheriff's Office.
Oh no, it's Marquis Brown.
Put your windows down so you can hear me. Now so we can talk. You in the red Civic, and you do comply with our orders. I cannot guarantee your safety if you do not comply with our orders. We do not want to hurt you.
573, I have a phone number for that subject.
10-4, can you try giving them a call? Again, they're just jamming out to the music, ignoring us. But if you try giving them a call, maybe they'll answer. Looks like he's getting ready to drive away. Stop the vehicle! Put the car back in park! Don't drive away! Your car's gonna get damaged!
At either end of the road, officers have coordinated to set up stop sticks and vehicles to block the suspect from escaping. Hence, the officer mentioning the
Just set it next to the trash can. Okay, good job.
suspect's vehicle getting damaged if he attempts to flee.
You were looking at some traffic tickets. It's not that big of a deal. Let's talk about this.
Jesus, this guy's breaking out the... What did the one guy call it? Fuck. Wait, what was the AR-15 that was the guy recommended? Half the people in chat said they were cool, the other half made fun of it. The SR-15? Yeah, the SR-15. The Knight's Armament Rifle, yeah. Oh my God.
We don't want to hurt you, Skyler. Talk to us.
What do you think? Do you think they number their mags? Did he fuck up? It was 5.63, now it's 5.67. What is this? Just to keep track of them?
We don't want to hurt you,
Is that their kill count?
Skyler. Talk to us.
Sorry, Kathy, this is 43. My partner's on the phone with Skylar trying to get him to roll the window down.
Copy. Request one of our K9 if there's any other K9 that county available.
Roll down the window.
Hey, I got your window down. I appreciate that, Skylar. Can we talk? I can't hear you very well if you're talking to us. I appreciate your cooperation. Would you mind getting out of the car?
Wait, okay, I missed the beginning of this. Was he was just trying to flee after a cop turned their lights on?
How a simple traffic
Intention on pulling over for me. The red light.
He stopped the red light while proceeding through the green light.
He has any intention on. He stopped at the red light.
Okay, so they've just been like following him with their lights and sirens on. He just isn't pulling over. Okay. Jesus.
Hey, I got your window down. I appreciate that, Skylar. Can we talk? I can't hear you very well if you're talking to us. I appreciate your stops.
Jesus Christ.
This officer is using a nearby home to get a better angle on the
Oh, bro, why? It's like fucking, he's set up in a sniper position. Holy shit.
suspect while also providing cover for himself, so it's more difficult for the suspect to see him.
What? How is this guy like going to come out like Inspector Gadget with like 42 rifles aimed in all directions?
Skylar, I appreciate your cooperation so far. Again, we don't want to hurt you. I understand you're late for work. We can work through that.
Dispatch is actively relaying information like this to the officers since they're on the phone with Skylar.
They have a
Apparently,
schedule?
Skylar's excuse for this situation is that he's late for work.
Okay, based.
Had you stopped, I could have mailed you your ticket. You still went on your way. Now we have some things we got to work through, but it's still looking at traffic tickets. I don't think you're trying to flee, but I don't feel safe coming up and talking to your window. Do you feel comfortable coming out and talking to me? Skylar, can you hear me better? Again, we don't want to hurt you. If you want to come, just put down your window. That's usually.
I'm in position. He's got his left hand out there cracking the window.
Skylar, I appreciate you showing me the one hand. Is there any chance you can put the window down all the way and show us both hands? That would make us all feel a lot more comfortable.
He's got to be like super autistic or something, right? Like what's...
And we don't want to damage your car. We don't want to hurt you.
565, he is still not willing to comply.
Why?
Sounds like he's all by himself. I'd love to break some windows. That stop sticks up around the corner. Skylar, this
Why?
is Jamie. What can I say to get you to come out of the car? Can you tell my dispatcher what it is that we can do to get you out of the car?
Yeah, what do they
Comply
want?
with us? I don't like playing this three-way where you talk to somebody, they talk to me, and then I talk back. If you can get out of the car and we can talk, that'd be great.
I also have an aerosol OC grenade in my bang box. His hand's back on the steering
They get a bang box?
wheel.
Jamie, his hands are on the steering wheel. Just probably keep them there.
I understand your hands are on your steering wheel. If you can keep them there, that helps us. I appreciate it. Skylar, right now we're looking at some traffic tickets and maybe failure to yield. But if you continue to refuse to comply with our orders, then you might be looking at some crimes. I understand that there's a lot going on.
Wait, am I crazy or does this guy kind of sound Canadian? Like a little bit? Am I losing my mind here? What state are they in?
Our orders, then you might be looking at some crimes. I understand that there's a lot going on in your
Wisconsin?
world. You and I have never met. So I don't know what's going on in your world, and you don't know what's going on in mine. If you can put the window down or you can come out and we can talk about this, I'm a pretty reasonable guy if you ask around. I was born and raised in Lake Geneva. I know what it's like to grow up here. I understand some of the drama that goes on living in this area. Those are all things I'd love to talk to you about. If you can just put the window down, come out of the car so we can talk. Darren, you good? All right. New Lake Geneva guy to my left. You good?
All right.
All right. What's your name?
Rami. R-A-M-I.
Rami? Okay. I'm Jamie.
Oh, look, they're making new friends.
When Bearcat gets here, box him in the front. I'll pull up and pin him between the cars.
We can put a 40 in the back window, see what happens, and then we'll work on getting an aerosol in there.
Okay. I would, yeah. Hurt the door.
65, he
Drive away. Your car is going to get damaged.
and drive and go to work.
Skylar, do not drive away.
It's got to be, I'm not trying to be mean, but it has to be somebody with like some kind of mental disability. If he's like on the phone telling the person like, I got to go to work, like,
Hey, your car is going to get damaged. You are not free to go. Skylar, I don't want to damage your car, but you told our dispatcher you're going to drive away, and that is going to end badly. Your car is going to get damaged. You may get hurt. You're going to face felony charges. Right now, you're not looking at any felonies. If you can get out of the car and talk to us, that will help all of us.
The intercom sounds better than felony statements. I believe you're making over the intercom sound better than complying.
I understand.
Why? What?
You think more charges is better than just getting out of the car. But that's any up in the sky, that'd be great. Sorry about that. It was still on from earlier.
Bearcat arrives? What is a bearcat? Oh, I thought this was like another name for a mountain lion. Okay, big vehicle.
Keep going, 2 feet, 1 foot, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, good.
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry. What the fuck is the budget of this police department that in like hodunk nowhere, like it doesn't sound like they deal with a lot of super violent people because everybody here is like really chill. It sounds like they've been out here talking to this dude for like 30 minutes. They got dispatch talking to the guy, okay, while he's like fucking doing his whole rant. They bring in like armored vehicles. They've got like SWAT. They've got like a dozen fucking cars out here. They got people like what? How well funded is this police department? What the fuck?
Skylar, you have to listen to us, please. Obviously, things have escalated now with your intent to flee from us. You are under arrest. You are not free to go.
I think he got that.
We do not want you to get hurt. Please exit the vehicle.
Skylar, it's the Lower County Sheriff's Office K-9 unit. If you do not start to comply, there's a potential you may be bit by the dog. You need to step out of the vehicle with your hands up, facing away from us. If you do not comply, you may be bit by the K-9. Keep up.
Hold on, I got a window punch too.
Buddy, come on, man.
Wait. Here.
Skylar, just keep the window down, buddy. Jesus. Keep the window down. You gonna comply or not? Comply or not? Show me your hands. It's your final warning.
Move. Just so you know, the wind's coming back towards us, so
What's that? The wind is?
wind is kind of misting this way.
Keep coming back.
Skylar, talk to me, man. I want to see your hands. We don't want to hurt you. We have a dog present here, buddy. We don't want to bite you. Skylar, this is your final warning bit right now is to step out of the car. Go ahead, sir. Step out.
Didn't they toss like a thing in there, a grenade thing? What if he just turns his AC?
Skylar, step out of the car.
All right.
You're under arrest. You are not free to go.
I think he's got that.
Let's go. You're gonna get dog bit. Step out of the fucking car. Out of the car. Out, man. You're gonna get dog bit. Step out of the car.
I'd rather get shot.
Step out of the car. All the way down. All the way down.
Down on the ground.
I'm down. Holy shit.
Is he suicidal? I feel like there's other things he could have done to be suicidal, no?
On a Brazzers video. Yo, chill.
I got it.
Oh, I wonder if he has. Well, no, because they looked him up, right? Like my only two guesses are that he's either got big, bad, outstanding warrants, or he's got something really bad in the car. I guess is my guess, or some type of mental illness.
All right, he's good. To the side.
Bro, at least take me to dinner before you me. God damn.
I was just talking about how I feel bad for the people getting right now. Now y'all doing it to me. This is crazy.
Tell me about it. You're looking at a speeding ticket before.
There's my window on the ground.
Do you have a preference for a tow for your vehicle?
A preference for a what?
Tow truck.
A tow truck? Yeah, call my boss. We got a tow truck.
Or roll towards me.
Next on the list. God damn. My girl don't even touch me like that.
We're going to sit you up on your butt. We're going to stand you up to your feet.
Ready? Going to clear my lungs too?
2, 3.
You had every opportunity to comply.
Yeah, well now I can tell my boss I was arrested, and that's why I'm not arrested.
Yep.
That's one hell of an excuse, I'll tell you that.
Watch your head, watch your knees.
Yo, oink.
Look to the left.
Hell yeah.
You're not injured, is that correct?
My lungs feel damaged.
Okay. Do you need a rescue squad?
Yeah.
You want a rescue squad?
Yeah.
Okay.
My lungs
He would
feel
like a rescue
crazy.
squad, please. He's having difficulty breathing from the OC.
I seem to be handling it better than y'all.
Anybody got a water?
Y'all motherfuckers coughing still.
I got one.
And I was in the car with it.
So as I explained from the get-go, you're under arrest.
Okay.
Okay.
My first rodeo.
Okay, good.
I better be getting compensated for this.
Well, there'll be food at the jail.
Scott, you want some water?
I would love some water. So when am I going to work?
After you see a judge. So I don't know if that you'll make the docket for today. Depends on what time we get you in there and get you processed.
It better be ASAP.
Well, we're not on your timeline anymore. You had every opportunity to comply.
And I complied. You see that window that's
No, you did not comply because I turned my lights on at Grand Geneva.
You see that window that's rolled down
Yeah.
right there?
Had you pulled over there, I would have wrote you a ticket and let you go on your way.
Yeah, and you could have done that.
Except you didn't stop.
Because I had to be at work and I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Except going 77 and 55.
77? My dash never said 77.
Must
I
have
can
been
tell you
faster
what
than
it
that.
did say before I passed you. It said 72. 77's crazy. Now you're lying on my name.
No, you're going 77.
That's still 15 over. Over.
Yeah, you're going 77.
Because
So
you wear
over
that
15 over.
badge, you can put what's on the ticket and I don't get a
yes, sir.
That's crazy. This feel like
Side street,
slavery.
sure.
So, to be a cop, does it take like a really small ego? Really big ego?
Nope, you can have one any size that you want. You know what I find interesting about your statements is that me trying to stop you and you fleeing, you're the one with the ego. Because it was all about you, right? And that's what an ego is. It's about you.
I never denied that I have an ego.
Oh, okay.
I got a head on my shoulders bigger than this one's car.
Well, that's good. At least we're on the same page on that one.
How can this go on for
That's for a
10
rescue
more
squad. It
minutes?
is here. Unless they deem it's medically necessary to be transported.
What's going on, my man? Y'all live?
It's so simple. I mean, pull over. Yeah. I appreciate it. Dale, they will take a look at you. No, but neither do these guys. So we're gonna start off with the take a look at you.
Did he really?
You seem healthy enough. You seem healthy enough to.
PhD like a doctor.
No, but neither do these guys. So we're gonna start off with the jail.
They would take me to the hospital.
All right.
I can't wait for the lawsuit that's coming in here.
All right.
So who's gonna tell my boss I'm arrested?
You can. Whenever you get time. It is not our responsibility. You're an adult. You can take care of those adult type decisions.
You threw me on the ground like a sex doll.
I have no reference to what that would be like.
Man, ain't you Lake Geneva? This ain't Lake Geneva. Where the f***'s the jail?
Elkhorn?
Huh?
Elkhorn?
Elkhorn?
Yeah. That's where the hospital's at too, which is where we're going.
We're going to the hospital?
That's what you requested.
So you're not gonna deny me my rights?
I don't believe I've denied any of your rights so far.
You definitely have. How many times you pulled a trigger on somebody? None?
Once.
Once?
Yep.
They scared you, didn't they?
Nope. So remember my conversation with you about just talking to us, you and me, so we could avoid any breakdown in communications and things getting
you
missed?
Remember how I put my car in park and rolled down my window, showed you my hands?
Essentially.
No weapon in that vehicle.
I feel stupid. You're looking at a traffic ticket. That's it.
Reason to miss work. Going to jail, that's one hell of a reason.
What is his
boss can't
job?
write me up for that shit. Your logic is so... And my logic is so incredibly flawed that I have no words to... Probably because you can't fathom it. You can't understand it. Oh, we got backup too? This is a motherfucker that pointed that gun at me. Background says I have mental health issues too, so I can get in a psych ward. Y'all ain't taking me to jail.
Are you diagnosed with anything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what are you diagnosed with?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be hard for us to get you help then.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Y'all gonna pay for the glass y'all broke on my car?
Nope.
Hell yeah, you will.
Over this way, bud. Right to the corner while here.
I gotta be detained? This is definitely slavery. America of the free, home of the pigs. Help me, help me. They're trying to molest me. I gave you the opportunity to approach my vehicle with my window rolled down.
Once you fail to comply...
When they search that car and they find nothing but a drill, some channel locks, everything in my tool bag, my wrench set, and a snow brush, and like a bottle of water and a can of Red Bull, you're gonna feel real goofy when you find out that you could have approached that vehicle all along. There ain't even a knife in that car. There ain't even nothing that could be used as a weapon unless I was mentally deranged.
There's got to be some sort of psych/de-escalation personnel that could help police with stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. He might literally just be like an asshole. I'm not actually sure if there's anything they could have done differently. I'm not sure.
Here's the interesting thing. Had you stopped when I first activated my lights, I would have approached your car. No problem. But when you don't stop for...
I had to get as close as I could get to work. So...
That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does.
Why do you have to get closer to your work?
Because if I'm only a block over, my boss could see that I'm not lying to him. I'm actually being stopped by cops, and I have no control over that.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Morning.
I have the psych ward. I'm mentally deranged. There ain't even nothing that could be used as a weapon unless I was mentally deranged. Y'all got a psych ward here? Not here.
No, we don't.
Would a psych ward overrule jail? Because I'm pretty crazy. I got lung damage from the grenade that they lobbed in my car.
He was OC. Aerosol OC. Pepper spray.
Yeah, I handled it better than the cops, though. They were coughing for a while. Do I get a nice little jacket that keeps my arms like Yoda?
I don't know. Maybe.
Why didn't they just approach at the start? Is it really protocol to initiate a standoff at every fleeing car? I mean, once you're fleeing, they're probably going to start making a bunch of potential assumptions about the danger level of, because the reason why a person would flee makes things a lot scarier. And if you approach, there's a higher chance of you getting shot at or something. I don't know, that's my guess.
Cool.
Do you smoke cigarettes, do any recreational drugs, or drink alcohol?
I do not.
Have you ever smoked cigarettes? No. Any marijuana?
Okay.
After moving Skylar to a nearby room in the hospital, officers catch him suspiciously moving around in his cot.
Hey, yo, get on my ass, bro. Chill. Y'all already practically me to search me. I ain't got shit on me. I like to play. My girl don't touch me like that.
Sit down. Sit down.
I was just gonna stand and talk in the corner.
No.
Damn, bro.
Sit down. You do not get up again, you understand?
Or what? Yeah, there we go. Or what?
In back.
Why?
In back.
This feels like excessive force, officer.
No, you say you're going to use your boots to hurt yourself, so I'm going to take your boots from you.
And take the handcuffs off?
Nope.
You trying to break my toe, dog? These dogs barking. Can I get some water?
You could drown yourself with water.
Oh my God, dog.
You're suicidal, dude.
I'm about to be homicidal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You see this hole behind these eyes? I'm trying to adjust the handcuffs, bro. They're hurting me. They're committing suicide on me.
There's a process taking place at the moment.
Oh, God damn. This is how we treat people? Man, I hope all three of you go through the exact.
What is happening here? He looks nice, right? Like his like hair is kept up, like facial hair is trimmed, perfect teeth. What is the story behind this guy? I'm so. Is there like a name, or is there any more information released? October 11th is this video. Do we know anything more about this dude?
This is how we treat people? Man, I hope all three of you go through the exact same scenario. The golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. And I hope you have 5 dudes pointing guns at your head the same way I did earlier. Except this time I hope they pull the trigger. I hope you're punished for your actions. I hope you think you're going to see them pearly gates and God goes,
April 5th.
remember that pride you held on to so hard? Y'all got a combined IQ of 20.
And that's still higher than his.
Now that my hands are restrained by other means, can the handcuffs come off?
As soon as we get there, yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
That's the whole point.
And they're cutting my fucking sweater. Oh, I know y'all don't give a fuck about nobody but yourselves.
There you go. Thank you.
Well, might as well put me down. I'm like old Yeller now. Take me out to the back with the shotgun. And look at that. I ain't getting no circulation down there. You made that a little too tight, Mr. Officer. Damn. Why are you taking my socks?
Make sure you don't get hurt.
In addition to his speeding ticket, Skyler was charged with fleeing an officer. He is innocent until proven guilty.
That's it? Not, wouldn't you get like an obstruction? Or wait, is fleeing an officer obstruction? Jesus, that's a whole lot of shit for a whole lot of fucking nothing.
Guilty in a court of law.
Do you think this is even a felony, or do you think this is a misdemeanor? 346.04. 346.04. Wisconsin? It says 2T. I don't know what the fuck 2T means. Does this even fucking say? Chapter 346 statutes. It doesn't even fucking say here. What the fuck? Your original circle was good, subsection 2T. Oh, 346.04, subsection 2T. Oh, okay, wait. I didn't even look at that. No operator of a vehicle, after having received a visible or audible signal to stop his or her vehicle from a traffic officer, federal law enforcement officer, or marked or unmarked police vehicle from, or that the operator knows or reasonably should know is being operated by a law enforcement officer, shall knowingly resist the officer for failing to stop. Yeah, but I'm just curious, like, what level misdemeanor or felony or whatever is this? Shouldn't it say here? It can be charged as either a misdemeanor or a felony offense. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Is this video worth watching? Billionaires want you to know they could have done physics.
So over the last...
No, it's cringe. She makes fun of Bill Gates. All right, let me just listen to Bill Gates. Wait. I just want to listen to 6 minutes of this. Fuck it. Stay mad.
So over the last year, I've spent a lot of time reading nonfiction science books and news interviews and all this stuff about people talking about physics in public for this video. This video is over. We don't have to talk about it. This is not about this video. I usually talk about like science topics, science history, science communication, but here I want to talk about how people perceive physics in the media. It's going to be a weird one. This started when I realized that Bill Gates introduced this book. Like Bill Gates of Microsoft is
Surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman.
super into the Feynman lectures, so much so that Bill Gates purchased some Feynman lectures for like a lot of money, and he made them publicly available on like Microsoft.com/Tuva, although that link is now broken and it goes to some ad for AI garbage that nobody wants in their Microsoft products. He did that because he called Richard Feynman the best teacher he never had. And that's when I started noticing a thing.
Okay, well, wait, hold on. So far, that sounds like a good thing, no? Like he appreciated some really renowned physicist, and so he bought the lectures and he made them free on Microsoft.com for a while. That sounds like a good thing, no? But okay, let's...
Very frustrating thing, and I want you to notice it too. Like Bill Gates famously didn't finish college, not really a physicist. Why is he always talking about physics? Why is he buying Feynman?
You didn't see her last video on Feynman. Oh, she hates Feynman. Oh. Uh-oh. The sham legacy of Richard Feynman. 3-hour video. Holy shit.
I think hero worship is bad, of course, because people are complicated, conflicting thoughts and actions and emotions, and Richard Feynman is, of course, dead. He died in 1988, and so us creating a legend that's, like, ignoring all the bad stuff just doesn't make sense. So I think we should just cut it. Like, cut it out. Like, what is it with this? Like, you can like Richard Feynman's papers and realize he was kind of an asshole. You can like Richard Feynman's lectures and you can enjoy watching him on YouTube and also, you know, realize it's kind of embarrassing that he made up a bunch of stories to tell his friend and then that got published in a book. You know, we all have to know that it exists. You can know that he choked his wife and still learn how to do physics from him. All of those things can be true. These are Feynman tips on physics as presented by Angela Collier, not affiliated with Richard Feynman. I'm going to start with a pet peeve of mine. There will be like a Today I Learned post on Reddit, and it'll be like Richard Feynman used his own symbols for sine and cosine when he was working out geometric functions as a child. They use this little tidbit as like proof of what a genius Richard Feynman was, and here's how that's phrased on Wikipedia. Thing is that that's just a thing that everybody does. Like when you're a child who likes math, you play around with geometry and it is legitimately fun. If you've never done it, just try it. Investigate some triangles. Legitimately a fun activity. And you get tired of writing cos theta, sine theta, tan theta, and you just shorten it. I wrote S parentheses theta, you know, you could write S with a line through it. Everybody does this, and it's honestly not indicative of future Nobel prospects. It is just a thing everybody does. And it's weird to me that you would choose that little anecdote and be like, Richard Feynman was such a genius, when you could choose an actual anecdote. I want to talk about a super cool thing Richard Feynman did when he was very young that shows that he was very, very smart and had an aptitude for math and science. Okay, so in 1939, at age 21, Richard Feynman published this paper as an undergrad. A single author paper as an undergrad. Now, this was easier back then, but it wasn't common. It's much harder now. But this is an impressive feat because he was assigned a problem and he really worked through it and tried to understand some things and wrote it up. And his professor was like, we're publishing this. And this paper had an impact on the field of chemistry. So he published a paper, people read it, had a theory of Feynman, and used it in their work. This is an incredibly impressive thing for a 21-year-old to do. So when Feynman worked at the Manhattan Project, he was a group leader for the computers. And at first, they were human computers, and then they got like punch card machines. So of course, a lot of people at the time predicted the importance of computers and what they would do when they were better. He would talk to the designers and engineers of computers, and he really understood how they worked on a fundamental level. And he also predicted the importance of like making these things smaller and smaller and smaller. A lot of people say quantum computing was a field that was created by Richard Feynman. I would say he was involved. I don't know if he was like the father of quantum computing, but there's a really great lecture you can watch. And the lecture on computing book, obviously not written by Feynman, but it's really interesting. It's really interesting to read someone thinking about the birth of computers and predicting their future usefulness from a physics perspective. He talks about like randomness and how a quantum computer, like a quantum event, would take care of that. He talks about thermodynamics and how like data is actually stored. I would suggest watching some of that. It's really, really good. But I also think that is emblematic of what makes a good physicist.
So there are some things that a computer does much better than a human, and you'd better remember that if you kind of compare machines to humans. But what a human has to do for his own, they always do this, they always try to find one thing, darn it, that they can do better than the computer. So we now know many, many things that the humans can do better than the computer. She's walking down the street, she's got a certain kind of a wiggle, and you know that's Jane.
Um, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand anything, dude. I feel like Chad is freaking the fuck out. It sounds like she's saying that I haven't watched this video, but my extrapolation from 2 minutes into this, or 2 minutes of the end of this video, it sounds like what she's saying is that there are certain physicists that people create these crazy weird legends out of, and they end up fixating and focusing on like the wrong or like retarded things, like, oh, he made up his own symbols for cosine, blah blah blah, when he was a kid, blah, blah, and they don't actually go over anything that's like impressive or anything or like noteworthy about their contributions to a field, especially at an early age, but rather people create these like retarded fucking legends and then they hyperfixate on them. And there are some things that like aren't even impressive from a perspective of, I guess like as a semi like musician person, when people say things like, oh, this guy doesn't even know how to read music, he just plays by ear. Like that's a thing that to most people sounds so impressive, but to like a musician, it's the least impressive thing in the world. And if anything, it makes you think the person's probably a little bit retarded. You can't read music, you never even tried, but you can play by ear. Pop songs, congratulations. Like all music that's created today is incredibly easy to learn by ear. That literally means nothing, right? But so like, it sounds like she's saying that if you're somebody who investigates geometry at an early age, it's not uncommon that you will notate things in your own way because whatever, it's not like you're inventing all of algebra and geometry from the ground up, but people fixate on these like stupid stories to make somebody that's larger than life figure, and they're not even, that's what it sounds like she's saying. I don't know why people are ass pained in chat. I don't think it sounds like she said anything objectionable, right? But maybe she does in the earlier part of the video, but.
Right? Or this guy's going in and you see his hair flip just a little bit. It's hard to see. He's at a distance, but that particular funny way that the back of his head looks, that's Jack. Okay?
He sees like new upstarting fields. Does he go think string theory is the...
I feel like Feynman is mainly known for his explanations of complex topics. I don't think the anecdotes are the main thing he's known for. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like with some physicists, people do try to do this like weird, like larger than life thing. Like the thing that people remember the most is like the one Newton guy had an apple drop on his head and he invented some bullshit, or like Einstein worked at the patent office, or somebody had no formal education. Like it's always like these random one-off retarded like tales of things. Is what it feels like. These are the things that like people fixate on more than anything else. So if that's like the case, I can understand the fixation or the irritation with these sorts of things, I guess. But I'm not going to watch this whole 2-hour video or 3-hour video.
The most important thing happening? No, he thinks it's computers, and he was right. And he was headhunted by this corporation, and he helped build the first parallel processors. Really interesting. His perspective on computing is really interesting, and if I could recommend one book, would it be that one?
Okay, whatever, sorry. All right, so she's either not a fan of him or think he's like made into a larger than life figure, but okay.
Lectures. I guess he says that when he was not in college, he read through the Feynman lectures, so like maybe he's just super into physics. I mean, Brenda in the comments says what we're all thinking. Hooray for Bill's gesture. When I get frustrated with Windows poor functioning, it will comfort me to know that instead of making a better product, he's used his resources to put Feynman online. But Bill Gates is not a physics company. He is not a physicist. He does not do physics, and yet he's always talking about physicists. He also has an article about Walter Lewin. If you studied physics at the same time as me, like in undergrad, so like 2010 era, you've seen Walter Lewin. He's a really engaging professor at MIT. He does the physics 1 and 2 courses, a lot of demos. He's really excited to be there. He's really good at drawing a circle, and also he got fired and the videos were removed from the internet because he couldn't stop emailing lewd messages to the undergrads, so... For once, I wish I could stop mentioning sexual harassment in physics. I would love to make a video where it doesn't come up, but like it just keeps coming up, so that's weird. But anyway, he does fund some physics stuff. He also talks a lot about the importance of teaching and good teachers, but he's not trained in physics, so why is he talking about it? And why does the media ask him about it? What do you think he could say more than the average person on like the importance of physics or the future of physics or like the state of modern physics? He's not a physicist. Like, why do we expect Bill Gates to have physics knowledge? Or why do we want him to? Or why do we listen to what he says as if he does have some physics knowledge?
What's 893 times 61?
54473.
Oh, Michelle got it. You're
right. Nuclear fusion to get rid of nuclear problem. If you want to learn science, including auditing a lot of courses at Harvard that I wasn't even signed up for, refresh my knowledge. I love to watch lectures. I watch lots of college lectures online now. Map where you have the branches of science and what's known and what's not. If some super rich person, funds that, maybe it helps the scientific discovery. Because in science, miracles are happening all the time.
Like, assuming you become incredibly assuming you become incredibly famous or popular or wealthy off of something unrelated. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily bad to spotlight things you do care about no. Like, I feel like I dip into spotlighting things, and I'm definitely not. I'm not a virologist or a fucking physicist or a fucking anythingist. But I mean, I feel like we still talk about a lot of topics. I'm not an expert on these things, but you can like highlight the issues or highlight figures in that field or whatever. But the reality is, a lot of academics they're fucking boring as fuck to talk to. They give shitty interviews. They like you could say the same thing about Bill Nye or oh god, hold on, black science man, astrologist. What's his name? Oh fuck, wait, it was just there. Oh my god. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Whew, we got there.
Richard Feynman was an incredible scientist. Tools of science. Quite a bit of the time I thought I'd be a mathematician or a scientist. So I think of it mathematically.
Not astrologist, I'm sorry, astrophysicist. It's all stars and shit, all right?
Work on speech recognition all the way up to quantum computing. The idea of quantum physics, it's not like the Manhattan Project. Feynman diagrams, like they're physics and physics on quantum computing. Feynman, it's where all these particles are interacting, going and trying to come up with a new theory in math. So it's making physics accessible. What's 99 squared?
97.
Exactly. 123 squared.
I am nervous. 15129.
Perfect.
But maybe this is a fluke, right? Bill Gates, billionaire, or robber baron. Sometimes people say.
I think her point also is that because of their status and reverence in culture, we may place too much importance in what they say about a particular subject area they are not well versed in, and that can lead people to getting their economics info from somebody like Jordan Peterson. That's true. I wish that like people in my position, it's more like this is like a starting position. Like I can like point you in the direction of like, here's how to read a study, or like maybe here's somebody else you should go and read more about. Although the problem is nobody ever does. So they just like take what you say and then that's it.
Say philanthropist, but like, does it count as philanthropy if you hoard your wealth like a little tiny dragon and then throw some pennies at malaria every once in a while?
Ugh, lefty socialism. It's okay. We overlook these things.
Because like, if you were a philanthropist, maybe you just wouldn't do the first part, the dragon part.
I couldn't bring.
Like, if you were a philanthropist, you would just be an ordinary human being and not invent Microsoft. Like, would that really make the world a better place? Okay.
Myself to be involved with that because it's so unjust to take finite resources. So unjust to take finite resources.
Money is not a finite resource, and wealth and economics, these are not finite resources. That is a fundamental. Economics is probably easier than whatever her PhD in physics is, and this is a thing that you learn in high school. Wealth is not a finite resource.
Unjust to take finite resources. So unjust to take finite resources.
But Bill Gates, billionaire, robber baron, philanthropist, asterisk, maybe he just is interested in physics. Maybe he just does know physics. Maybe he's the one that brings it up in interviews. Maybe it's not weird to ask Bill Gates about the state of modern physics because he as a person is like actually uniquely interested in it. Until you realize that the media very specifically requests the opinion on physics from untrained, unknowledgeable billionaires on the state of the field. Why are we asking billionaires how they feel about the landscape of modern physics? They're not physicists though.
Do you want to just talk for a bit about what's going on with the James Webb Telescope and where it is and basically set the stage here?
I would love to set the stage.
If we had used the word technology in 1964, 50 years ago.
Wait, who is she making fun of there? It sounds like you've got, like, I feel like, unless she doesn't like Neil deGrasse Tyson, which she might not. But if you do, then it feels like this would be like the perfect way for a billionaire to like spotlight somebody else and say like, oh, you're a physicist, I brought you on, why don't you talk about this particular thing? Like, isn't this good? Or
Webb Telescope and where it is and basically set the stage here?
I would love to set the stage.
If we had used the word technology in 1964, 50 years ago, it would have referred to aerospace and rockets and faster cars and underwater cities.
Reading an article when I was about 12 years old, I think it might have been Scientific American.
The tools of physics are very powerful and can be applied, I think, to almost any arena in life. So for me, physics was sort of a very natural thing to.
And I sometimes wonder whether the people who are in STEM fields are actually even worse than often the people in humanities. We haven't figured out a way around the laws of physics.
But get you on my podcast and we'll talk about your vision of the future because you're one of the shakers and movers of where society's going to go.
All the rocket scientists going to work on Wall Street.
Physics is unforgiving. Physics is unforgiving. So
is it your view that like on a cosmic scale, if you think like humans evolved and then like AI happened and then they like went out through the galaxy, or maybe it takes many decades, maybe it takes a century, but like is that like the grand scheme of what's happening right now in history? I think that's tricky.
But just about every other engineer.
I feel like these are bad examples to spotlight whatever she's talking about. Hold on. Okay.
Engineering field would have been a bad decision, saying nothing of the pure sciences.
Evolution, their stars are in. And so here you have this zoo of galaxies in an area on the sky no bigger than a grain of sand.
If you want to understand
Okay, I'm guessing she doesn't like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay.
the universe, these have very good predictive power, physics and computer science.
Intelligence can be pretty separated from consciousness and agency and things like that.
Nuclear power.
And you want a kind of higher fidelity, more compute-rich experience.
The latest understanding of where technology was and what we could do with that technology.
Because physics attempts to understand the truth of the universe.
For life outside of academia.
Quantum mechanics was my hardest class in college, by the way. My senior quantum mechanics class was harder than all of my other classes put together.
I went to Princeton primarily because I wanted to study physics, quantum mechanics, and
There's no need even to have a college degree.
Have you ever thought about what it is to be intelligent? Probably some of you have, right? Because you meet your friend and he's pretty dumb, and maybe you think you're smarter, and you wonder what the difference is. And I've thought about this a little bit myself, and one of the things is, it seems to me a lot of it's memory.
Like physics is the law, everything else is a recommendation. Physics is the law, and everything else is a recommendation.
Like, wait, what was the problem? I don't even know.
There you go. Good.
It is weird.
Is the law, everything else is a recommendation. Physics is the law, and everything else is a recommendation.
There you go. Good.
It is weird, right? Am I the only one that's noticed this? Am I the only one that feels weird about the obvious example is, of course, Elon Musk. Billionaire, robber baron, doesn't even pretend to do the philanthropy part. Elon Musk finds it very important to bring up that, like, he's trained in physics. He has a bachelor's degree in physics, and
Well, I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation.
And very specifically, he got into a PhD program, very prestigious, very exclusive, and then he dropped out because it's very important to him to do the things he dreamed to do, which was, work illegally in our country as an illegal immigrant.
Okay.
Except Elon Musk never got into a PhD program, and Elon Musk does not have a bachelor's in physics. He didn't finish. He lies about that, allegedly. Some suspect the fact that people kept bringing this up, the fact that he does not have a bachelor's in physics, is why he bought Twitter, because he was mad that people kept bringing it up, because it's very important to him that you and I think, that actually he's super good at physics, actually. Here's a link to this thing that went around Twitter, and it's a picture of Elon Musk's homework, obviously from undergrad physics 1 class, but he's talking about it like it's a very impressive, rigorous derivation of an example that's in Survey and Jewett. Like, okay, Elon Musk. I mean, wow. In countries that value academics like China and India and Norway, you couldn't reach age 15 without doing this math. My goodness, how impressive. He says some pages are missing, and it's like, obviously, it's just a homework set. Why are you so silly, Elon Musk? This is very basic, and everyone can tell when they look at it. This is a very simple problem from the very first physics class you take. This was big with Steve Jobs, too. He had a pocket full of stories about how as a child he was super interested in how things worked, and he remembered the moment he realized he was smarter than his dad because he knew how microphones worked. And there's this story from the Walter Isaacson book about that one semester that Steve Jobs went to undergrad as an English major. He's very proud to say he attended upperclassmen physics courses. So, I mean, if that's a true story, just like sitting in on a 300 level thermodynamics class without having done the prerequisites, not able to follow along because he hasn't done the prerequisites, not doing the homework, not doing the exams because he's not enrolled in the course, and being like, wow, that was a really formative moment for me. I attended a physics course. Oh my goodness. Why is this a formative story in your life, Steve Jobs? You didn't learn thermodynamics. It's weird. It just seems like the public billionaires. There's like a couple thousand billionaires, and most of them understand the importance of silence. But there are these billionaires that remain in the public eye. They really, really want to be famous, and it's very important to them, it seems, to be seen as if they're really intelligent. They really want to be like, I'm actually very smart. I could have done physics. I could have been a famous physicist.
I mean, like, my charity is starting to drop away. Like, I kind of understand what she's saying, but a lot of these people's fields of business are also kind of directly implicated in, at the very least, like physics adjacent things, right? If you're talking about like computers, if you're talking about spaceships and satellites. So I mean, like, it kind of makes sense that people are going to ask them questions that are a little bit related to it, however dumb that might be. But I feel like, especially for Elon, like, you can find examples of if people are stepping really far outside of their area of expertise and then saying like really stupid things, that's cause for criticism, I would say. But I feel like we just haven't shown that yet. It just seems like she's really mad that that billionaires are having an opinion on or saying things about physics. But I don't even know if anything like egregious has been said yet.
But instead, I had to make billions of dollars exploiting the workforce and destroying the planet. Jeff Bezos goes to Princeton as a physics major, and he does really well, and he has this story about how he goes to quantum mechanics.
I went to Princeton primarily because I wanted to study physics, and it's such a fantastic place to study physics, and things went fairly well until I got to quantum mechanics, and there were about 30 people in the class by that point, and it was so hard for me. And I just remember there was a point in this where I realized I'm never going to be a great physicist. There were 3 or 4 people in the class whose brains were so clearly wired differently to process these highly abstract concepts in so much more. I mean, I was doing well in terms of the grades I was getting, but for me, it was laborious, hard work.
So I think this is really interesting in comparison to Bill Gates and Elon Musk. Like, Bezos is at a prestigious school doing the work, and he makes it to quantum mechanics, and he's like, I don't want to do this math. Fine, totally valid, totally fine. Here's another story from like a podcast, I think. In this clip, the host reads a quote.
I don't want to be... I feel like I'm being super pedantic. It didn't sound like he was saying he didn't want to do the math. It sounded like he was saying conceptually he had a really hard time intuiting like what they were even talking about. That's being very, very, very pedantic, but whatever. Okay.
Here's another story from like a podcast, I think. In this clip, the host reads a quote from Walter Isaacson, where Walter Isaacson compares Jeff Bezos to Albert Einstein. And to Jeff Bezos' credit, he responds the way you're supposed to respond to Albert.
Oh, I see the quote. I'm often asked who, of the people living today, I would consider to be in the same league as those I have written about as a biographer. Leonardo da Vinci, Benjamin Franklin, Ada Lovelace. Is that where the NVIDIA architecture comes from? Steve Jobs and Albert Einstein. All were very smart, but that's not what made them special. Smart people are a dime a dozen and often don't amount to much. What counts is being creative and imaginative. That's what makes someone a true innovator, and that's why my answer to the question is Jeff Bezos. Okay. I'd have to know why he picked Bezos, unless, I mean, Amazon arguably transformed a lot of American retail shipping and AWS. Jesus. I don't know if this is as an egregious a quote as she makes it out to be, though. But
Albert Einstein. And to Jeff Bezos' credit, he responds the way you're supposed to respond, Ed Witten, when someone calls you Albert Einstein, which is to laugh and say, absolutely not, but here's my skill set. Oh no, I feel like I'm being super nice to Jeff Bezos in this video. But this is the thing, right? Jeff Bezos understands what physics is and understands that he doesn't have...
That quotation had nothing, like, oh God, fuck. I haven't watched her other video, and maybe I'm not being charitable here, but it sounds like she's actually being a little bit STEM-brained here. The comparison wasn't to just say that he was as smart as them or as smart in physics as them or whatever. She's making that sound so much more narrow. Like, this is like a very STEM-brained, like, that was clearly not the comparison. That was clearly not the comparison.
Which is to laugh and say, absolutely not, but here's my skill set. Oh no, I feel like I'm being super nice to Jeff Bezos in this video. But this is the thing, right? Jeff Bezos understands what physics is and understands that he doesn't have the training to do that. And I think he realizes that, like, maybe he could go to school for that, but he's not going to. So he shouldn't be waxing philosophical on what the future of physics looks like, right? He understands that that would be silly and weird. Of course, he does go on to be like, actually, I'm just an inventor. I just think different, which is kind of the same. Walter Isaacson syndrome, you know, this habit of just picking anecdotes from your early life and being like, these are the formative moments. This is what sets me out against everyone else. This little story is why I'm a billionaire, is really interesting when you actually think about the stories for what they are. Like, Steve Jobs just sits in a class, unenrolled, doesn't do the homework or the exams. He's not qualified for the course, so he's probably not able to follow the material. And he's like, this is what changed my life. This is why I'm a billionaire. But it's weird, because Steve Jobs was a billionaire. He could have just learned physics if he wanted to. Bill Gates being like, man, Richard Feynman, the greatest teacher I never had. It's just like, babe, you're literally a billionaire. Get in your private jet, fly to Princeton, New Jersey, walk onto Princeton's campus, find the Princeton Center for Theoretical Science, walk in, say, hi, I would like to pay 4 theoretical physicists to come live on my compound and teach me physics and do research with me, and I'll give you $3 million per person per year. And guess what? Some of them would take you up on it, and you would learn physics, and you would be on physics papers. You could just do that. Like, you just being like, oh, I wish I could do physics. Like, bro, you have $1 billion, more than $1 billion. Just do the thing you want to do. Stop talking about it. Paying a couple physicists a couple $1 million a year to teach you physics is pocket change to you. You could just learn physics. Instead, you just talk about how much you wanted to learn physics and how important it is to you that people know that you wanted to do that at some point in your life. Like Elon Musk, it seems essential to what he wants his persona to be in the world is that he is a guy with a physics degree and he could just go to college. He has billions of dollars. Just go to college. Like, if it's so important for...
It feels like she's just like if you're a billionaire, she's just like throwing you all together. Like, has Bill Gates said, or I wish he would provide a quote, has Bill Gates said, God, I wish I did physics instead of whatever other boring bullshit I'm doing. Like... like there are a lot of things I wish I studied in school that I think would be cool. Like, we talk about like the legal arc, the lawyer stuff, and biology, and like there's a lot of interests that I have, but I'm not going to quit my job that I excel at, you know, a ton and make a lot of money doing and are very successful at, or am very successful at, to go to school. I don't even know what this, like, okay.
Physics degree, and he could just go to college. He has billions of dollars. Just go to college. Like, if it's so important for you all, just do the thing. Just learn the material. I don't understand why it keeps coming up. It's so strange. I don't know if I've explained it correctly. Like, if I'm on a plane and someone asks what I do, and I say, oh, I'm a physicist, and they go, oh, you know, I always wanted to study physics, I'm not going to look that person in the face and like, just go to college, man. Because, like, obviously, normal people like you and I don't have $1 billion. Normal people like you and I have life things, money things, tragedy things, illnesses, all these things that could prevent us from just going to college and doing the thing you want to do, right? But billionaires have unlimited resources.
That's absolutely not true. You're unfortunately still limited by the one human resource that limits us all, which is fucking time. Like, depending upon how much I wanted to just fight on this point, like I could argue in a roundabout way, like a decently wealthy person, like an upper middle class person might even have a better opportunity to just switch around like what they're studying or switch around like what they're interested in, assuming they're not carrying like a ton of debt from their last degree, than somebody who's running like these massive businesses. They're probably not have the time. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to quit this whole like financial venture, this whole business that I know I'm really good at, and I'm just going to go back to school to do like a physics degree. That's probably an incredibly unlikely scenario for anybody who is extremely successful in one of those fields. It's just such a weird.
So it's really strange that they expect to get credit as like smart points for being like, you know, I kind of thought I could do physics. Like, okay, do it. Do it, man. You have $1 billion. Getting a physics degree is an incredibly achievable goal for someone with $1 billion in unlimited time. You could just, what's stopping you? Go do the thing. I also think it's kind of funny that the way they do this Walter Isaacson syndrome has been adopted by people who would enjoy that lifestyle but don't yet have it. Like, they think just like putting on a black turtleneck and being like, you know, I thought I could do physics sometimes is going to turn them into a billionaire. I think a funny example of this is Stephen Wolfram. Stephen Wolfram is, of course, like a famous person and probably a millionaire. He's also a real physicist. He got his PhD, God, really.
Sorry, what do you mean by wealth isn't a finite resource? Wealth is created in economies. You create wealth as economies grow. It's not a finite thing. If one person becomes more wealthy, it doesn't mean they're taking it from somebody else. Like, wealth can grow amongst all the parties participating in an economy.
Really young, like 21, I think. He got a teaching position right away. He won the MacArthur Genius Grant, and he left academia to start his company. And he's responsible for, you know, Wolfram Alpha and Mathematica, great tools. He's a super successful and impressive person, but also he thinks he has a theory of everything, and the physicists are just refusing to look through the telescope. It's like a real Galileo situation. But Stephen Wolfram is very interesting to me because it seems like he lives his life as if he is preparing the notes to hand over to Walter Isaacson as soon as Walter Isaacson like taps him on the head and he's like, you're next. He tracks the number of emails he sends and receives every day and his schedule every day and the way he spends his time, and he has for years and years and years. He has a website where he just takes reader questions and answers them, and funnily enough, there's one from someone asking how good Steve Jobs is at physics, which is kind of a full circle moment for this video. And the person wrote that letter because Steve Jobs tells stories about how like, yeah, I was actually super good at physics, but then, you know, I decided to just be a billionaire instead. Once you notice it, you'll never not notice it.
Wait, like, what do you mean? What is the, like, I don't think, did Steve Jobs just make the decision, I'm just going to become a billionaire? What does that mean? Like,
Jobs is at physics, which is kind of a full circle moment for this.
What is this? Stephen Wolfram, okay. Did Steve Jobs ever try to explain math or physics to you? No, I don't think so. It turns out I know somebody who knew Steve in high school. The person who I know who knew Steve in high school is now a physicist. Actually, I saw him recently at Washington. He was like, yeah, Steve was always kind of a weird person in high school. He was one of the kids who would go to some other nearby high school, which my friend also did, and go learn calculus and things. I knew that bit about Steve, that even though he was like, I don't know anything about this math stuff, etc., he actually had learned calc when he was in high school. And that was one of those kinds of outer band pieces of information that I happen to have. Okay.
This video, and the person wrote that letter because Steve Jobs tells stories about how like, yeah, I was actually super good at physics, but then, you know, I decided to just be a billionaire instead. Once you notice it, you'll never not notice it. The billionaires are always talking about physics, which is weird because that's not their field actually. It seems to me, for some reason, it's really important for these public billionaires to appear smart. So the interviewers ask them questions and they need to come up with these little anecdotes that are relatable but also make them seem super smart. So like the Price is Right wheel is spinning in their head and it just lands on physics, and they just say, yeah, you know, I actually thought about doing physics one time, so I'm actually really smart. And I think this highlights how uneducated they are on the topics they're thinking about because they just randomly throw physics, like physics is the smartest science, even though no physicist would ever think that they're smarter than a biologist or a paleontologist or literally any human with any job because your job doesn't dictate your intelligence in any way. It's weird. It's weird that it's always
smashing the X button to doubt, but
physics.
okay.
It wouldn't be that noticeable if Elon Musk laid claim to physics and then Steve Jobs was like, I'm into botany, and Bezos was like, I'm into chemistry, and Bill Gates was like, I'm into material science, but they all...
The thing is, like, I don't even disagree with her that some people do this. Elon Musk. Like, I'm sure there are people that absolutely fucking do this, Elon Musk. We've seen him do this before. I just feel like she didn't give any examples of it. Like saying that, like, oh, I used to be good at math or physics in high school, or oh, I was interested in this in college, but there was something else that I was just better at. I don't think anything bad is happening here. I don't think it's a crime. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I don't think...
Shows physics. They all think like, oh, I have to say something smart. Physics. That's what smart people say, right? Physics. And it's so silly. It's so silly and weird. Why are they all doing it?
Isn't it harder to learn physics than almost any other science? I wouldn't say that. I think it just super depends on, one, it depends probably on what you have an inclination for. Like if you're very good at like math, then that probably helps you a lot in physics. But like, I don't know if it's the same type of brain that's good at like higher levels of physics as the same type of person who's good at like organic chemistry or whatever. Fuck that shit. Different people probably have inclinations towards different topics or whatever, and then some people are probably better at the engineering or applied side. But
they all sound the same. Here's my little attempt at solving the mystery. Let me know in the comments below what you think. First, as evidenced, most billionaires don't do this. Most billionaires are silent. We don't know their names or their faces. These billionaires who claim to be like, I used to be into physics, I'm so into physics, are public billionaires. It is very important to them that they are also famous. They really care about their public perception, and they don't want to be seen as like the evil billionaire who exploited the workforce and destroyed the planet, right? Instead, they think, hey, I'm not evil, guys. I'm just like really smart. And because I'm so smart, I was able to make $1 billion. And the reason you didn't make $1 billion is because, unlike me, you're not as smart. I'm really smart. The only thing stopping you from having the $1 billion is if you were smart. Hey, I'm really smart. I thought I could do physics one time. I'm really smart. At one point in my life, I thought about possibly studying physics, but I didn't do that. But the fact that I thought about it makes me really smart, which is evidenced by the billions of dollars I have. They could have been physicists, but thank God for us peons, they can throw pennies at our charities while they sit in their mansions of gold on their billions of dollars and be business, billionaire boss businesses instead of theoretical physics. You have 27 skill points, right? Every billionaire has like 7 luck points and 20 evil points. But there's a small fraction of the billionaires that live this public life, and they don't want to be seen as an evil billionaire. They want to convince us, no, they don't have any evil points. Actually, all 27 of their skill points are in intelligence, and that's why they have so much money, because they're smart. Can't you tell? They said that they had thought about doing physics at one point, so they're smart. And this is so weird, because on some personal level, they must understand the optics of the situation. Like, imagine being Jeff Bezos, and your whole identity is business guy, super skilled at business. I'm so good at business, I have $1 billion. And then imagine realizing that everyone knows you're not actually good at business. You actually just force the people who work for you, the human beings you employ, to deliver packages in unair-conditioned trucks, to have such a schedule that they're forced to piss in bottles and then store the bottles.
Okay, never mind. I see. Okay. All right. Okay, forget it. Never mind. All right. I don't necessarily disagree with what she was saying about like the obsession with like, oh, I'm a big scientist, and then they say the most retarded things about science. This happens a lot. I think that's super cringe. But yeah, I can't stomach all the shitty econ takes. I can only handle so much. Oh, true. You could make the same video of her and just like swap in all of her econ takes. Maybe. What minor would you add to everyone's college degree to make the world a better place? I don't know, man. Psychology 101, stats 101, and I'm sure we can think of some other 101. Those are 2 big ones, I think. Oh, maybe civics 101, just so we know how our fucking government works. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna go. Hang out with my parents for a little bit. The pain and the agony. I might stream tomorrow night. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my, deer, jays, bills, use, buy, bees, please, close, tight, gimme, ease, intimate. One of these is like fucking sports teams or something, and I don't know it. The Bears, the Lions, the Bills, Jays, Blue Jays. Is that a thing? I have no idea. Not even one off. Fuck me. Nope, just kidding. Oh my god, I'm so smart. Holy shit, I just saw through the fucking Matrix. Words that sound like plural letters. Look at all these B's, E's, J's, U's. Okay. All right, all right. They're tight, they're close, they're intimate, they're dear. Yes, okay, okay. What are these shitty fucking sports teams? The Bills? I feel like I've heard that before. The Bears, the Lions, the Tigers? What is this? Buy, gimme, please, oh my. This is some fucking pop culture bullshit. God damn it. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Bills, Bears, Lions, Tigers. I'm one off. Oh my god, I have no idea. It's not sports teams. Right? The please, the gimme, the oh my, the buy? That can't be. There's no sports teams there, no? So what could the other thing be? Bills, Bears, Lions, Tigers, gimme. Buy. Please, gimme. Oh my. Oh my god, please God. Bears, God. The brown Bears, brown Lions, brown buy, brown oh my, brown play. Give me Tigers, Bills, Bears, Lions. Oh my god, no. Don't. This doesn't work. No, okay. Like homophones or something? Or like, no, it wouldn't be a homophone. No, like bears, like he bears it. Or bills, you can have like bills and like a, or no, I guess a billfold, bills or dollar bills. Beaks or bills. Tigers, lion. Buy. This is one off. I don't know, bro. Get me out of here. What? When tripled, hit song titles. Bills, Bills, Bills? Is that a song? Bye, bye, bye? That was like NSYNC, I think, right? Please, please, please. I don't know that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. That might have been a song, maybe. Bears, Lions, oh my, and Tigers? What is the oh my? Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my. What is this? The Wizard of Oz? Oh, I don't know. Okay. What is this?
Can you marry a woman that earns more than you?
I will never
Based.
do such a thing.
Based.
You cannot marry a woman that earns more than you?
No, my lord.
Why?
I've already married.
Okay. So, and you are richer than your wife?
I will never be rich, except God who created us.
Can you marry a woman that earns more than you?
What?
Never.
It's just why was I linked to this? Okay, I've got bots in my chat. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Be careful, don't die. Have a Merry Christmas. Don't die. Be safe. Stay safe. All the safes.